Hello there, and welcome back. This time I will rank the 13 main vampire clans from the 20 years anniversary books from weakest to strongest. This is based on their disciplines, their vampire flaws, and how well these disciplines and flaws work together. This is not to say that some clans are weaker than others, or if I put it higher on the list, it is a garbage clan. It's just that it has some things to be desired. This is also based on what merit and extra powers they can acquire in character creation. So, with that in mind, let's start. And starting off with number 13 is the Nosferatus. They have Animalism, Potence, and Obfuscate. I never seen people put more than two dots in Animalism, but those two dots is also quite good. And Potence is one of the weaker of the three combat disciplines, which is Fortitude, Celerity, and Potence. And Obfuscate is quite good. Their flaw is that they have zero appearance, meaning they have to not be seen, usually going through sewers or using Obfuscate to not be noticed. Their special merits and flaws are lackluster, and they don't have any unique disciplines as some of the other clans has. I don't see why they even have much of potence. It would make more sense for me to have Auspex for them to see through illusions and gather more information. And I know they have, I think it's called the Shrek net, where they gather all their information in one database to share. But other than that, I don't have much to work with. I see them as one of the weaker clans, and I've never seen many people play them much. So that's why I put them at number 13. And at number 12 is the Toreadors. They have Auspex, Celerity, and Presence. And they have the flaw that if they see something beautiful or entrancing, they can be kind of paralyzed until shaken out of it, which doesn't come up too often, but can really be a bother in combat or in a social setting if they just drift off because they see some painting or firework or something that captivate them. Both presence, celerity, and auspex is quite good disciplines. I usually divide them into three categories of power, where celerity is a physical one, it's a combat-based one, presence is a social one, and auspex is a mental one. So they can do little of everything. The problem with them is that they're not great at anything. If it's a social thing, they can definitely be present and help. If it's combat, they can also help. And if it's about gathering information, they can definitely do that too. But where all the other clans have at least two powers that helps them, they only have one in each. So they're always behind in the whole um amount of power they can actually put into this setting that they are being put in. They have some good combo abilities about making art that has presence trapped inside it. So a painting of a calm woman will make everyone in that room calm. A picture of hell will make people be afraid, and so on. So have some good powers. I will definitely recommend Toreadors to being the first character you play if you never played it, because they're easy to start off with, and they can be in every situation. So they're quite good at being everywhere. They're also one of the few vampire clans that can make their nails and hair grow so they don't look so vampiric, get tattoos with the right merit. So they can do a lot, but again, no special uh, disciplines and nothing they have really specialized in. In the 11th place, I placed the Butchers. They have potent, celerity, and presence. And the flaw is that they easily get very mad and go into frenzy. They are, compared to the Toreador, more specialized in one thing, combat. Both potence and celerity can really make them fight and makes them one of the greatest like melee fighters. Um, And with taking the additional discipline merit, you can also have fortitude in the beginning, having all three combat abilities. The problem again is that they don't have any special disciplines, and all the merits and special things they can pick, if you read through those books, is very limited. Um, they don't do anything special, but what they do in combat is quite good and worth playing. So if you're thinking of an easy to do fighter, Blue Jazz is definitely the one to pick. In the 10th place, I have placed Ventrus. They have dominant presence and fortitude, and their vampire flaw is that they can only drink blood from a certain kind of people. They are definitely the most social vampire in the game. They have both the power to control people's minds and emotions, and they're usually played as these corporate money grabbing people. They focus a lot on having power and controlling people. They don't have any special discipline unique to them. But they do have a merit, I think, that makes them have Auspex as an in-clan discipline. And they have some good combo abilities of controlling people's feelings and minds. But other than that, they cannot do much. They're not great fighters, except for fortitude. They can make them prevent some damage. And with additional discipline, you could pick Celerity and Potence to become better at combat. But if you want to play a social vampire, these are definitely the best pick at at all. And in ninth place, I placed the Asimite. They have obfuscate, celerity, and quietness, and their vampire flaw is that they cannot drink blood from other vampires. They are the perfect assassination vampire clan, and can do that with the obfuscate to become invisible, celerity to attack multiple times, and with their unique ability quietness, they can make their blood into poison. They also have the option to become Asimite sorcerers and cast a few spells. The one I've been reading is not very impressive, but you have the option to actually learn to cast magic on top of being an assassin. Their merits and flaws can be quite fine, and they are very good at killing people and sneaking in on people. So they're really the perfect clan to pick if you want to be that stealthy rogue kind of vampire. And in eighth place, I have picked the Ravenous. They have animalism, fortitude, and chemistry. And the flaw is that they have to have something that society looks down on as their flaw. They're stealing, they're lying, they are doing something that most people would look down on. Um, Animalism is again a power that's not that strong. I see most people only get it to level 2. Fortitude is always good to be able to resist more damage. And chemistry is their unique ability to make illusions. And the further up you get, the more real these illusions become. Actually, been able to inflict damage on people, and this damage is unsoakable lethal, meaning you cannot prevent the damage they are giving, and there's very few clans that can do that. That power is quite good, and compared to other powers where you kind of know this power can do one thing, a Ravenous can explain how this illusion works, how that looks. Everything from this car looks like the most expensive cars, and the lights on, and you just explain how your power works, and then it works like that. They also have some very unique combo abilities that makes that the illusions become actually physically real for a few seconds, meaning that you can make like a kind of a cartoon character where you make a tunnel, make an illusion of a tunnel, and you can actually pass through it. And when somebody else tries to, they'll run into a wall. You can only use it, I think, once per day, and it's only for like 3 seconds that it's real. So, but if you can time it, you can actually do like kind of this cartoonish character. They're not the greatest at fighting. They're not great at social interactions either. They're more like to control the battlefield and help people with illusions to hide or to change the scenery or to fool people. So they are quite good at those things, and it's extremely fun to play because of the freedom that you have playing one of these clans. And then in seventh place, I put the La Sombra. They have Potence, Dominate, and Obtenebration. And the weakness is that they have no reflections in mirrors or cameras and so on, so you cannot film them, which makes it easy for vampire hunters to find them. You just have to bring a mirror and see which one in the room it has no reflection. They are guaranteed a vampire. Um, they have dominate, so they can control people's minds and make them think whatever they want, which is always good, especially to make it easier to drink blood. Obtenebration is their unique ability to control shadows, and at third level and higher, they can start making shadows alive, actually able to pick people off the ground or grab them. And the power they use the most is these shadow tentacles, which become stronger for every dot you have in obtenebration, and they become stronger based on how much you have in potence, celerity, and fortitude as well, which means that you can make a very great fighter with it that also makes your tentacle stronger. And they have some combo abilities that makes that their tentacles actually becomes double as strong as you have in dots of tenebration. If you learn the Barleys, which is these devil vampires power of Daimoinon, I think it's called, you can make a combo ability to make their tentacle into the black flames that inflicts aggravated damage. So suddenly you have a very powerful tentacles you can put anywhere on the battlefield that can really kill. You also have dominate to control people's minds, and your flaw is not the worst unless you are hunted by hunters, or else it would rarely come up. And they have also the power to become sorcerers, which has some very unique and powerful spells, which, when used, you become more and more corrupted by the abyss. I think they have a ritual to make them able to see through all darkness, also their own darkness and magical darkness. But in exchange, your eyes become completely black, and some other powers that slowly becomes makes you look more and more like a abyss creature. They but their spells are quite good, and their disciplines are very strong. Uh, they're they're worth playing, and they are definitely both good socially and good combat wise. So yeah, that's why they are number seven. And in sixth place we have the Gangrels. They have Animalism, Fortitude, and Protein. And the flaw is that when they frenzy, they become more and more animalistic in their appearance or behavior. So suddenly they have like wolf's ears or more furry bodies or something like that. They become more animalistic over time, or their mental states become different. They howl with other dogs and so on. Animalism again is definitely better with the Gangrels. They're very much more focused on animal and nature. Fortitude is just good to protect yourself against damage, and Protein is their unique ability to transform themselves, giving themselves werewolf claws, basically transforming into wolf or bats, becoming these creatures, or merging with the dirt or become mist. Which is quite good. They're also one of the clans that is hardest to kill. They get at 6th level in Protein the power to get marble skin, which means that they take half damage of almost everything, and you can make a combo with it that if you get pierced with a dagger or spear or arrow, you take 1/8 damage that you have to soak. Otherwise, it is three disciplines you have to use at the same time, but still, that means you will not really take damage. Um, and that they're also, weirdly enough, and most people probably don't know this, they're also able to learn magic. If you take I think it's called Totem Warrior, you are able to cast the sorcerer spells with a few limitations, and you use blood instead of willpower to cast your magic. Again, not the strongest magic, but still you can gain a lot of spells on top of your way of fighting, because gangrels are mostly just these tanky fighters, because their claws inflicts aggravated damage and can cut through mostly anything. Most people find them a bit boring because they do the same thing every turn in combat. They make claws or transform and run and slash people. But with a Totem Warrior Meriden, you would be able to also have some spells and help your teammates building up with magical items. The Totem Warrior is in the book is called Sea of Wolf, I think. And they also have some very unique merits that you can pick to make them even more fun. That's the thing is the Berserker that make them stronger if they feel pain. They have a merit that gives them +1 to their cult because they sit around the bonfire and talk these stories that they give from generation to generation. Um, they also have a power to transform into, instead of a bat and so on, a swarm of insects and so on. So they have a lot of cool both merits. They can learn magic. Their powers are really good at just being tanking through damage. So that's why I think that they are on the 6th place. They are very good and can do a lot of different things. And next is the Cemerity in 5th place. They have Animalism, Auspex, and Vicitude, and the flaw is that they have to sleep on some dirt that had some meaning for them when they were alive, where they got married, where they were born, something like that. They have one place and they have to sleep on that dirt, or else they become very drained. Animalism again, their powers doesn't really work together, I feel. Animalism is always fine. Auspex to see through illusion is always good. And Vicitude is the power to their unique ability to morph flesh and bones. They can make weapons out of their own bones, melt people's arms together, but also transform into these horrid form, which is one of, if not the best transformation in the whole world of darkness. You gain +3 to all your physical stats, which is a huge bonus. The only problem I see is that they don't start with any combat disciplines. They don't have potent, celerity, or fortitude, and yes, you can buy it with additional discipline merit. But overall, their powers doesn't really work together. The reason I put them so high is because that they have culture sorcery, which makes them sorcerers too. They can control the 4 element and a lot of spiritual powers too. The magic is very, very strong. They basically have a mild teleportation by transforming themselves into wind. They can shoot with fires and make lava. They can make water minions, walk on water. They can trap people with dirt. They can even heal people for accurate damage, which is the fewest clans that can do that. The only one that can is the Cemitze, the Salubri, and the Giovanni. And being able to heal aggregate damage is very, very nice, especially in the early games where you have a harder time healing it yourself. Um, and the horrid form and their transformation can be extremely good. They can become a pool of blood that is immune to all damage. Later on, the horrid form also get wings that inflicts aggregate damage and make them able to fly. So this mix of having powerful spells but also being extremely strong fighters, and I will suggest to take additional discipline to at least get potent, celerity, or fortitude. Auspex is always good so you don't get ambushed. And Animalism again is something most people don't take much of. Their merits and special powers is also a bit more interesting. But the most part is their combat ability, potential more like it, and their very powerful spells. If they didn't have culture sorcery, they would probably be at, way lower on this list. And in fourth place, I put the Malkavians. They have Obfuscate, Auspex, and Dementation. Their flaw is that they have a mental illness that they cannot heal and have to live with through their entire vampire life. Auspex is nice to see through illusion, and Obfuscate is nice to be able to disappear. Dementation is the power to make other people as insane as you are. They have the power to see this weird reality that they think is real, everyone else think is just madness, and actually come out with some answers to questions. But they have a hard time explaining why they know that the guy they are looking for is in this building. Their powers are very random, but extremely powerful. It's very hard to resist their powers. And when you get hit, you either start hallucinating, seeing your worst fears, not understanding what reality really is. And they have the power to see people they met for the first time, what kind of person they are. But Malkavians are one of those clans I ask people not to play, because every time somebody plays a Malkavian, it becomes very random and very silly, which is fine in some games. And also they have the Eyes of Chaos powers that make them more or less see the entire plot of your story. They know that they cannot trust this guy because there's something odd with him, because they have seen it in the leaves, or they know that the person that you're looking for is hiding in this building because the Eyes of Chaos just told you. So they kind of bypasses a lot of the mystery or the build-up for your story, and that's also why they're on the fourth place. They are extremely powerful in a random way. They also have some good merits and some weird sub clans. One of them is the Malkavian clan that thought this joke was funny to make a Malkavian without Dementation, and that was their joke, that they don't have any special powers. They're very weird but extremely powerful, and if you meet the evil guy you have to defeat, a Malkavian can just straight up make him so insane that he flees or is unable to fight. Malkavians has that flaw that they are usually not very good at fighting, like at all. They're just mentally breaking people down and let the rest of the group do what they have to. But since they have a mental flaw, they maybe have that as paranoia or something like that. Sometimes they also just attack you. The powers are insane, but they make the game a bit random and chaotic. So that's why I don't like them much, but they are strong, and I have to face that. So in third place, we have the Tremors. They have Dominate, Auspex, and Thaumaturgy. And the flaw is that they get easily bloodbound if they drink blood from other vampires. Dominate is nice to control people's mind, and Auspex to see through people's illusions and so on. And Thaumaturgy is a sorcery power unique to them that makes them cast all these kind of insane spells, like Jedi lifting people with your mind, or shooting lightnings, or shoot fires, or drain people's blood from a distance, to build your own monsters. They have a million powers. And all of these is extremely good, and their rituals are even better. They have so much flexibility. They have so many spells. The only thing that their weakness is that they are not very good at surprise attacks. They need to build up, make themselves ready, equip them with all their magical items or things they've been crafting, and having time to just have made all their protection spells and triggers and so on. They are very, very strong, and their merits and some of their more unique rituals is quite nice, that you can actually use quintessence in a way mixed with blood, and actually empower your own spells. They can have libraries and phantoms, and they can have a lot of very flavorful and powerful stuff. Um, they are the ones you have to be most aware of. If you piss one off, they will find a spell to break you. And they are usually working and bribing and blackmailing people. So if you think you are safe with the people you are with, if they're played as the books suggest, they will find a way to humiliate you or kill you. I cannot understate how powerful their magic are and their rituals, but they are still not in the top two spots. And I will talk about that when we get there. And in the second place, we have the follower offset. They have obfuscate, presence, and serpentism. And their weakness is that they are easily blinded by bright lights, and sunlight inflicts even more damage. So only have a turn or two before they die from the sun, where most vampire can at least take 10 seconds in it. You don't see them if they don't want you to see them because of their obfuscate, and if they want to see you, you are their best friends because they have presence. Serpentism is kind of a sister or a brother to the protein power the gangrels have. They have the power to transform themselves into animals like a cobra, or make a tongue that can cut through steel, or hypnotize you with their snake eyes, or make snake scales that can protect you against almost any damage with just stamina, which is an amazing power. And the difficulty is 5 instead of 6, meaning that you have amazing defense, amazing attack early on. And if you go with the old world of darkness, the Dark Ages, you can, instead of a cobra, become this hybrid snake creature or a jackal form, which makes is almost as good as the horrid form that the Semite can do. They also have different subtypes of the follower offset. They also have the warrior, which loses their obfuscate but gains potence instead with the same flaw, meaning that if you really want to be a fighter, you can pick that and then take additional discipline, celerity, or fortitude, meaning you suddenly have extremely high fighting powers, even compared to the Bruja. A little more fixing and not as easy to play as the Bruja, but have these very strong abilities. One of the reason they are above Tremere, in my opinion, is that they also have Sedai sorcery. And Sedai sorcery has this whole branch of a lot of different spells. Everything from sharing pain to the opponent, to make mummies, which is a better version of the Giovanni's zombies, extremely strong, which you also can give them your powers when you make them. So you suddenly have a mummy with snake scale or snake tongue to just cut through your enemies, or give them more potence or fortitude. They have all these very nice and very strong spells, but on top of all that, they can also cast 70% of all the Tremere's magic. So they can also shoot with fire, lift people up, teleport, and so on. So they're just a Tremere with their own magic, plus most of the Tremere's magic, plus their own unique ability on top of that. And you can customize them as a fighter or a social vampire. Gives them a wide range of powers, and they also have some very unique merits, and some things that even help them cast their spells better. They can get I think it's called a blasphemic ritual table or something like that. That gives them more dice to cast their magic when they are near it at an altar. And they have all these powers to just do what you want very efficiently. They're kind of like the Toreadors, except they're very good at all of the things that you want them to. They can be very social, they can be very sneaky, they can be very good fighters, they can be very good mental spellcasters without putting much effort into it. They are one of the strongest clans, and meeting a follow-up set, and especially a follow-up set sorcerer, you should fear them as much as Tremere. But they also have this philosophy that everyone can join the follow upset, and as long as you show that you are loyal to them, actually bring in other clan members in, then you can learn their serpentism, which is their unique ability, or maybe even learn their Sedai sorcery, as long as you are willing to be loyal to them. It probably means you have to be blood bounded, but still they're very open and not that closed up about their powers and their society as other clans are. So they have a lot of good stories, they have a lot of good marriage, a lot of good powers. They're definitely something that you will feel the power when you play them, that you can almost not take damage. You can kill everyone in one go, and if you learn spells, you can do that too. You disappear when the danger is near or the fight is over, and everyone likes you because you have presence. So yeah, that's why they're number two. And finally, at number one is the Giovanni. They have potence, dominate, and necromancy, and have the flaw that they cannot drink blood from people. If they bite them, they start rotting and they are filled with pain instead of pleasure of being bitten. And if they're mortals, they will die from that bite, meaning they have to make people slit their wrist or get blood from a blood bank. Luckily, they can use dominate to make people forget that they slit their wrist and force them to actually do it. Potence doesn't really make sense for them to have. I know they are a mob family, so in that sense, it's fine, but it's just not very good power. And necromancy is the unique powers to make zombies and ghosts and so on, but it is one of these sorceries that is quite weak from level 1 to 4. With some few exceptions like rigor mortis, which is level 2, we can freeze people like a body freezes up when you die. You also have Dark Mother's Kiss, I think it's called, where you make a black poison in your mouth, and if you bite people, you inflict double damage. And if you have potence, you suddenly inflict a lot of damage, meaning you can take down a gangrel that only takes half damage of all damage. So that's quite good. But when you and if that was all that they really had, they would have been definitely lower on this list, probably one of the lowest. But the thing that makes them so powerful is that they have just almost game-breakingly good powers at level 5. They have a Night Cry where they can use willpower and then one blood point for every person they want to hit above the first one. So if you're Generation 8, you can hit 4 people because you use 3 blood points and then one willpower. And for every success at a difficulty 6, you inflict 1 aggregate damage to all of them. Or if you scream at your friends, they get 1 lower difficulty to all their all their mundane actions for each success. Meaning a brute just suddenly can hit at a difficulty 3 instead of a difficulty 6 or 7, or um, and that damage you can inflict also just have a high chance of killing people. They also have the black breath, where you spew out a lot of black gas, and if you don't hit people with it, nothing happens. But if you hit them, they get -2 dice to all their rolls because they're getting depressed and just getting hit by it, not necessarily breathing in, just getting hit by it. And if they fail to resist this gas, they have to commit suicide in the best and quickest way that they can. So a mage will blow themselves up, or if you're near a train station, they'll jump in front of it or stab themselves or shoot themselves. Whatever is the easiest and fastest way to actually do it. And if you are not alive like a vampire, you go into torpor and cannot wake up until you normally would wake up from a torpor, meaning that you essentially can just drag them into your lair and keep them as prisoners, or you can dive lair them. And the gas is, I think, is 5 meters per success you have. So something you can hit a very big area and just knock them down. They also have the biblical necromancy rituals. One of them is where you can blow a Viking horn and summon a Viking ghost warrior, um, and uh, and that kind of bypasses the whole. You have to have like 3 paths to actually get a ghost to do your service normally. By first finding if somebody became a ghost, then find something personal from them, a fetish, and then after that controlling them. You can bypass that with a level 2 ritual. Um, and the power doesn't say you can have a max limit, so you can blow it 100 times, and then you have 100 ghost Vikings to fight for you. Yeah, they're probably not good at sneaking or spying on people necessarily because they're warriors, but you still have 100 ghosts to send out. They also have a power where they can draw a symbol of life on somebody, and for every second success, I think, you heal one aggravated damage, and for every success, you heal a lethal damage. So you suddenly also have healing. In the sixth level of the biblical path, they also have the power to revive themselves if they die. They prepare a room and make some symbols on the room and on themselves, I think. And if they die, they can get transported there with 0 blood points in their body and have someone to feed them blood for them to wake up. But still, you have a automatic like revival spell. It only works once a year, so you have to, after you die, wait 1 year to do it again. But you are immortal. You have infinite time for the most part. Um, and then we have the discipline that makes them just straight up broken, and why they are number one on this list. They have the Path of Skull. The third level is that you can make skulls alive. They can jump and bite people for automatic free aggravated. You don't have to roll for it. It just latches on. And they drink the opponent's blood to refill your own blood, which is extremely good. And you can make as many you want. You just have a big bag and throw them on the ground and just let them eat people. They also have where they can talk to people's skulls to get information from the dead, which is also quite good. But the power that really makes them overpowered is where they can eat people's skull. And with that power, let's say you're Giovanni with 1 strength and you eat the skull of a Bruja, you can sacrifice your 1 strength, so you go down to 0. And if you succeed, you get his or hers 5 strength as your own permanently. Meaning that suddenly you don't need to use experience on anything. It also works on abilities, which the only restriction is that you have to have at least 1 dot in it. Meaning you just have to hunt people with high stats and eat their skulls. Yes, the difficulty is 9. You use 2 willpower to use it, and yes, you cannot use willpower to get automatic successes. It's one of the only powers in the game that says that. If you get 0 successes, nothing happen. If you botch, you have 0 in whatever you try to sacrifice, which is the thing that's very dangerous. If you have 0 in intelligence, you cannot think. If you have 0 strength, you cannot really move. You can of course use blood to move for a scene. So it's very dangerous to do that. But if you lose your 1 driving to 0, it's like not a big deal. You can also do it on disciplines, and that's where it becomes extremely nice. You can do it so you, for example, exchange your potence with a follow-up set serpentism, for example. And if you have, let's say, 4 potence and you exchange it, and the opponent will have 2 serpentism, no matter what they have, you get a serpentism equal to how much potence you had before. And if it was an in-clan discipline, the discipline that you steal becomes an in-clan as well. Meaning that if you exchange one of your outer clans, it's an outer clan discipline as well. Meaning that suddenly you can customize your disciplines as much as you want. You can just focus on getting your potence to as high as possible and just exchange it to another power. And yes, you're probably thinking that it's still very risky. It's not that broken, but there's 2 level 1 Giovanni rituals that makes this easier. There's one where you get 2 more dice to all your necromancy spells, and one where you get 2 lower diff on all your necromancy spells. Meaning that you have 2 more dice, and the difficulty is from 9 to 7, which suddenly starts being quite nice. They have a background where they start with a non-magical item, but an item that's seen a lot of death. Could be a mass murderous knife or something like that gives you between 1 to 5 extra dice to all your necromancy spells, meaning that you suddenly have like 7 plus dice, whatever you have normally, +7. They have a merit that lowers all necromancy spells by 2. There is a merit that everyone can pick, which I think is called Discipline Prodigy, that lowers the difficulty of one discipline by 1. And if Giovanni takes Necromancy, is all the Necromancy spell, and Tremere taking Pharmacy is all the Pharmacy spells. That goes down with 1. So if you do that, I know it's kind of like power gaming, but I think you can get it down to difficulty 4 of doing it. And suddenly you can just constantly eat people. The only downside of that is probably you lose some humanity doing it, and that your aura shows that you have been blaring even though you haven't. They also have a lot of good merits, like Cannibal, where you can eat people to get extra blood points every time that you drink. You eat them, you get blood point back, equal to the health levels, I think. So usually 7 from a whole body. They also have some fine rituals, quite quite good. Also, that the follow set can actually learn your Giovanni rituals. I forgot to say that in the follow offset part, but it's just one level higher for the follow offset than so a level 1 ritual they can learn if they have Serpentism 2. It just got a little bit out of track there. But they have a lot of nice things, and if they get Serpentism and Necromancy has a lot of combo abilities that's extremely strong. Everything from they're immune to all vampiric minuses, more or less, for a whole day. They can force people that dies to become ghosts with Serpentism and Necromancy. They're just, when you reach that level, you become so much stronger than everybody else. And yes, if you don't use all the merits to lower the difficulty, you can still get -2 diff and minus +2 dice to all your rolls for in-book rituals. That's why they are so much stronger. I've been playing as one where I tried to make it as good as possible. I think we have ended up around 120 experience, but because of all the people I've been eating and so on, and all the power has been exchanging, I'm practically a character with 500 experience, and the rest have 120. It's such a power gap. And when I use the night scream, I flick like 12 aggregate damage to 10 people, or I breath that gas out and just instantly knocks everybody over, and the fight is over. They are brokenly strong. And when you start mixing it with you are not afraid of fire, and true fate doesn't work on you, magical holy item doesn't work on you, fire and sunlight doesn't work. It's extremely strong. So that's why the Giovanni is the number 1 spot. And with all that said, it's not meaning that every other clan is weak or you shouldn't play them, or if you have fun. That's just extremely nice. This is just what I've been thinking would be the strongest clan overall. But I'm definitely sure someone can make a Nosferatu that can kill every Giovanni that is power built. Definitely. So I think that if you have some other clans that you think is better or shouldn't have been placed there, you are welcome to write and what your experience has been. So I hope I see you next time. And sorry I haven't posted in a long time. Become a father since the last video, so I'm a bit I'm a bit busy. So see you and have a very good night.